I want to briefly discuss the site file for Revit. It's essentially the same site file that we've been using for the semester, broken down into a near and a far component. And it also has a lot component, but the lot component is now a Revit floor with some site boundaries already modeled for you. And then the site has been brought into this base file, which I'll have a following tutorial which will talk about collaborative files. Somebody's going to have to set this up as a central file, which will be downloaded as a local copy. Just look for that tutorial coming out here. But this site file, as I said, it's already broken down very similarly to projects in the past. You might have your pinned elements on if you open up this file from the get-go. If we turn that off, you can see that this has been modeled as an architectural component in place. It is a site component. So I can double click to get in it. Actually, I think it's pinned, so yeah, I have to edit it. And this has been imported as a DWG. It was just a DWG that was straight exported from the site file that you've been modeling in Rhino. If I cancel that model, there's a couple ways that helps us. First, if we go to the visibility graphics, I can go to the imported categories and I can actually turn on the far and the near site independently. And you can see that there's that far site there. If you keep that pinned element off, you won't have that highlight anymore. So keep those pinned. I think that's the best way to go. And then there's another way we can turn it off by going to VV and going into our model categories, going down to site, and we can turn it off there. Hit apply. And then you'll see that this is just a floor that's been modeled in Revit. You can pin this as well, but because we're going to be doing some excavation work, there's actually nothing down below that. And I'll be giving you guys a parking lot component that you can model and place in there as well as a group. If we go to a floor plan, for instance, I've already modeled these grids for you as well, so it goes A to L and 1 to 12. Sometimes you'll see that architecture firms or whatever, they won't use things like I or L because they can get confusing. It's not really a problem here. We're just going to use A through L and then 1 through 12. So you get this 12 by 12 grid, and it's offset by 12.5, so it should be the exact same one that came in from Rhino. And this site boundary here, this red line, is also pinned. So if you turn your pinned elements on, you can see that this was modeled just as a model line. And I created a new line type for you called site boundary. It's based on a center line, so it's a long dash, short dash with even spacing in between, and it is a default as red. So just keep that in mind. If you can't select it, it's just a pinned model line. I've also moved the elevations out to their proper places for you, so it centers on the site. So when you do go to your elevations, you'll see it's already properly placed. And if we go to the 3D, you can see that the level 1 has already been expanded to the boundaries of the site. So it's not sort of cutting right through the middle. So you can use this as your base to array or copy up if you want.